For years, I've told stories about the predators I chase with a fishing rod. But the banks hold other hunters, silent ones, fierce ones, and wild ones. This is the beginning of that wider journey. And that journey starts with a question I've had for years as a predator angler. Are otters wiping out the fish in our rivers? Every time I'm on the bank, I hear the same thing. Otters are clearing stretches. The fish are gone. The otters have ruined it. I needed answers. Not rumours, not social media arguments, but facts. But before we go underwater, we need to talk about what anglers actually believe. In 2021, Angling Times ran a big feature titled, "Otters, are we over the worst?" That headline alone shows how much otters dominate UK angling conversations. You've got passionate anglers, like Barbel Society chairman Steve Pope, who genuinely fears otters are decimating barbel on rivers like the Kennet, the Ouse and the Bristol Avon. He even suggested a government review of otter protections. And he's speaking from frustration, from seeing once strong river stretches decline. But the same article includes the opposite story. Hampshire Avon record holder Pete Redding said, otters have had little impact. He believes old barbel populations collapse naturally, and otters simply took advantage of weakened fish. Another specialist, Jamie Cartwright, said he's seen otters all the time, but rarely big kills. And then there's the science, quoted in the piece. Ecologist Daniel Wood found bullheads in 72% of otter spraints on the Bristol Avon. Large fish, just 31%. He also documented otters controlling invasive signal crayfish, a predator that destroys fish eggs and fry. And Professor Rob Britton summed it up perfectly. The proportion of angler target species in otter diets is low. So the angling world is divided. Some see otters as a threat, others see them as part of the river. And the truth? I need to find out if it's somewhere in between. So let's dig deeper. The Eurasian otter, Lutra lutra, is fully native to Britain. It's not introduced and it's not invasive. It's native. But by the late 1970s, they were almost extinct in England. National surveys found otters at around 6% of sites. Studies from Natural England and the Vincent Wildlife Trust show the causes were organochlorine pesticides, industrial pollution, sewage, river engineering, and habitat destruction. Fish absorbed the toxins, otters ate the fish, and populations collapsed. When those chemicals, such as dieldrin and aldrin, were phased out and banned in the 1960s through to the early 1980s, the rivers slowly began to recover, and the otters came back with them. And by 2011, the Environmental Agency surveys confirmed otters in every county in Britain. So when people say there are more otters now than ever, the reality is they're simply recovering. Now, to understand whether otters are indeed wiping out all of our fish stocks, we need to understand how they hunt. Research published in Marine Mammal Science and the KMAE Journal shows that otters depend heavily on their vibrissae, whiskers wired into thousands of nerve endings. These whiskers detect the tiny pressure waves created by swimming fish. This means that they can hunt at night, in muddy water, in floods, in low visibility, and in deep channels. And once underwater, their bodies shift into hunting mode. Nostrils sealed, heart rate slowed, flexible spine activated, webbed feet powering tight turns, and dives lasting 20 to 40 seconds. They target the same structures that we fish: reed lines, snags, undercuts, ledges and drop-offs. But their hunting style reveals something important. They're efficient, not reckless. So what is actually on the otter's menu? Long-term studies by Britton and Shannon, Jenkins and multiple other papers in the KMAE all show the same pattern. Most of an otter's diet is made up of small, abundant fish species, not trophy fish, not large predators, mostly bullheads, minnows, dace, chublets, small perch, sticklebacks, roach, eels and crayfish. On the Bristol Avon, Daniel Wood found that bullheads were 72% of samples and large fish at only 31%, as I mentioned earlier. Across Europe and the UK, big fish appear in the otter diet, but rarely. Otters take the easiest meal, not the biggest. So do otters kill big pike, big barbel, carp, chub? The answer is yes, sometimes they do. And the Angling Times article acknowledges this too. Some rivers with old barbel populations saw otters take advantage. But research consistently shows that big fish make up a very small percentage of the otter diet. Because they require more energy, longer handling time and higher risk of injury. Otters prefer small fish because evolution rewards efficiency. A dramatic kill is not the same as daily behaviour. Another big claim that I came across online is that otters kill for fun. But studies from Natural England say clearly, wild otters almost never surplus kill. That behaviour mainly happens in enclosed carp lakes. These are artificial environments where prey cannot escape. In natural rivers and meres, for example, surplus killing is extremely rare. Wild otters kill for food, not for sport. Carp anglers have had some of the most painful experiences. Carpology ran a major feature showing the impact unfenced lakes face. And it's true. In winter, when carp are slow and inactive, they become far easier targets. If your lake holds only a handful of 20s and 30s, losing even 2 or 3 feels catastrophic, emotionally and financially. And that's the point carpology made clearly. In enclosed lakes, carp can't escape. There's nowhere to run, and that creates a problem that isn't natural. Wild rivers have escape routes, refuge zones, and vast stretches of habitat. Enclosed lakes don't. And here's something we all need to acknowledge. Otters are one of the most highly protected mammals in Britain. Under the Wildlife and Countryside Act and the Conservation of Habitats and Species regulations, it's illegal to harm them, trap them, or interfere with their resting sites. So even if a fishery suffers losses, removing the otter isn't an option legally. The only effective defence for high-value carp waters is fencing, and organisations like Embryo Angling Habitats now help clubs do exactly that. On carp lakes, the solution is protection. On rivers, the solution is habitat and water quality. Another interesting thing that I found during my research of otters reintroduced into British waterways is that there's been around a 95% crash in eels in our systems. Now, eels are a favourite food source of otters, and the 95% crash has come from things like over 20,000 man-made barriers in UK rivers, sluices, dams, walls, things like this, plus parasites as well. All of these things that stop the migration of eels has caused this crash in the eel population in UK rivers. Now, if eels are the #1 source of food for otters and they're no longer here in the amount and abundance that they used to be, could that be a reason that otters are targeting other fish or not? It's something worth thinking about. So, are otters wiping out the fish in our rivers? From everything I've read, every study I've dug through, the honest answer is the picture isn't as simple. We do know this much though. Otter territories are huge. Some males can range over 50 kilometres of a river in a season. Densities vary massively from one catchment to the next, and the key driver behind where the otters settle is prey availability. We also know their return to our rivers mirrors the recovery of water quality after pesticide bans, a reminder that cleaner rivers attract predators because they're functioning again. But here's the truth that matters most for this conversation. Even with decades of surveys, scientists still say there's no single normal number for otters in a river, no fixed density, no universal threshold. It changes with the habitat, the flow, the prey, and even the season. And that means something important. The debate isn't black and white. As anglers, we see the losses, we see the carcasses. I'm not pretending it isn't painful. I'm an angler too, and I get it. And I know this episode will split opinions. Some of you will completely disagree with the science, some of you will think it didn't go far enough. But right now, on our rivers, the evidence still points to this. Otters are predators, but they're one part of a system that shaped British waterways for decades. They're not the sole cause of fish declines, and they're certainly not the only pressure our rivers are under. And honestly, we need more research, better monitoring, more conversations between anglers, ecologists and fisheries. Because if we care about the future of our fish and our rivers, then the only way forward is together. And next time, we're looking at a predator that does surplus kill, breeds fast, and genuinely threatens native wildlife across the UK. This is the American mink, and this time, the gloves are off. If you've enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And until next time, stay hooked. I'm Stu, a British military veteran, and predator angling runs deep in my veins. It's about wild waters, the chase, and a way of life. If you enjoyed this adventure, hit subscribe. And if you want to go even further, join my channel memberships for raw, unfiltered predator sessions and exclusive films you won't see anywhere else. This is Hooked on Predator Fishing, and until next time, stay hooked.